It was the poet Robinson Jeffers who wrote, "Integrity is wholeness. The greatest beauty is organic wholeness and divine beauty of the universe. Love that, not man, apart from that." Once, in the dry season, when the sky hung low like a sheet of hammered brass, an osprey wheeled above the valley. She had hunted all morning. Her wings cleaved the updrafts. Her eyes, those ancient amber lenses, scanned the surface of the river like a priest scanning scripture. She dived. The water broke like prophecy. Then, triumphant, she rose again, a writhing silver fish clenched in her talons. The brittle and brown valley, the grass parched to the root. Power lines ran like taut strings of fate across the ridgeline. Strange, buzzing, the osprey didn't fear. Her nest, high in a man-made tower, rocked gently in the wind. Her fledglings, awkward and wide-mouthed, chirped. The flight was long. The sun bore down hard. Her grip faltered. The fish slipped. Tumbling end over end, the fish struck wire, not hard, just enough to make the current stutter. A spark leapt, like a bored trickster snapping flint. Then fire. The valley ignited. What had been meant as nourishment became conflagration. What had been a gift for life turned into a danger to all. By dusk, the flames had scorched the slope, melted plastic, and singed fur. Power faltered in the nearby town, and old folks fanned themselves in the dark. They blamed the heat. They blamed the wires. Some laughed when the fire chief told them a fish started it. Others saw the omen. The osprey did not know. She only circled back, empty-taloned, confused. Her irises still cried out. She would try again. And so it was recorded, first in field notes, then in newsprint, then in joke and tweet, that a bird dropped a fish and the earth burned. But the lesson, like the spark, remains. Even the sky may bear consequences. Even the purest flight can leave a scorched trail. In the real world, not the one of parables, but the one of press briefings and power grids. The fire began just before noon on July 30th, 2025, near Ashcroft, British Columbia. The day was hot, the hills dry. A fish fell from the sky. It struck a set of power lines stretched over the grasslands like a taut note, and that single contact, a flash, a stutter, a current interrupted, sent sparks tumbling down into the brush below. Flames leapt up as if they'd been waiting. They ran across the slope with the reckless hunger of things that know how rarely they're fed. It took nearly 5,000 gallons of water to extinguish the fire. It consumed over an acre of brittle terrain. Power flickered out across the region, momentarily silencing air conditioners, store lights, and ventilators. Around 1,500 people lost electricity. And at the heart of it all, a bird, a fish, a spark. The fire chief confirmed it. The fish, it seems, was dropped by an osprey, a raptor known to nest on power poles and cell towers, favoring high vantage points near water. The department even joked that perhaps the osprey had decided raw fish wasn't cutting it and tried to cook its meal midair. But beneath the humor was something more sobering, the stark reminder that ecological systems, natural and human, are now so entangled that one dropped fish can shut down a town. Ospreys have nested in North America's wetlands for millennia. They are apex fishers, their wings stretching 6 feet tip to tip, their talons built to pierce slick scales. In ancient times, they nested in tall trees. Now, many of those trees are gone. What stands instead are steel towers, transmission lines, and cell phone masts, vertical replacements for a vertical world. And ospreys, ever adaptable, use them. This event, absurd as it seems, is an ecological parable in itself. Wildlife adapting to human structures. Humans responding with surprise when that adaptation goes sideways. The osprey did not mean to cause a fire, but the infrastructure was already brittle. The environment was already dry. The valley was ready to burn. The fish was merely the fuse. We've built a world where one flick of nature, a spark, a drop, a wing, can cascade through systems designed for order, but never for contingency. What we call infrastructure is not immune to entropy, and what we call nature is not a separate realm. They meet more often than we think in brief flashes, a bird, a fish, a fire. As Robinson Jeffers said, integrity is wholeness, the divine beauty of the universe. Love that, not man, apart from that. The Osprey's offering wasn't a mistake. It was a moment in the whole. And we, who have so carefully strung our lives across dry ridges and humming towers, must learn not to treat the fire as interruption, but as integration. Not as error, but as evidence. Not as comedy, but as caution.